I'm Ryan Graham. Welcome to Northwest Newsweek. At a time when many healthcare facilities are struggling with understaffing and high patient volumes, two major programs at Geraldton District Hospital, meant to help alleviate some of those issues, are in danger of stalling. Hospital officials say the costs of improvements have soared due to inflation and the ongoing trade war with the United States. Justin Hardy reports.
The Geraldton District Hospital has two major projects in the works, and both are in danger of stalling out due to extreme cost increases. The first is to convert 26 seniors' beds into long-term care beds. The project also seeks to convert another 6 rooms for long-term care, but Support Services Manager Ryan Waugh says that project could be in jeopardy.
We're at the initial stages right now. We're going through all the pre-capital submissions with the ministry. But yeah, with the tariffs and all the pricing increases, the prices have really gone up exponentially. We're just at the very planning stages right now, so we haven't even put out for tender, so I don't know exact numbers on any of that yet.
The long-term beds are required in order to get provincial funding. Hospital staff have been doing their best to provide those services without it, according to one of the head nurses, Kelsey Cleveley.
It's difficult. You have to meet all the same standards as all the other homes. The ministry standards, as anyone knows, the ministry standards are very much in depth, very much needed, of course, for the safety of the residents. But you know, like I said, you're put to the same standards with less funding, so it's difficult.
Another big project is the creation of a secure mental health room for patients who are a danger to themselves or others. But that cost has ballooned to nearly 3 times what was budgeted.
Projected cost of around $150,000, and then when we put it out for tender, prices are coming back around $350 to $450 due to tariffs and ongoing increased costs with goods and services.
Blunden adds that the mental health room is badly needed as these cases currently overtax the emergency department.
It's huge. It's right now mental health admissions represent about 17% of all of our inpatient admissions. They're coming in more and more frequently to the emergency department, and more severe crises. So having this room available and providing our staff with the training to take care of these people is really important.
The hospital is looking for other funding, but officials don't yet know what will happen to the projects if they can't secure the money. Justin Hardy, TVT News.
Ontario NDP Deputy Leader and Kiiwetinoong MPP Sol Mamakwa has confirmed on social media that his wife Pearl Mamakwa has died suddenly. Sol Mamakwa posted this statement on behalf of the family, which reads in part, "Pearl's strength, kindness, and unconditional love were the foundation of our family, and her absence leaves a void that can never be filled. This unexpected loss has shaken us deeply, and we are still trying to process the reality of life without her. We are grateful for the time we had, and we will carry her spirit with us always." The municipality of Greenstone continues to make progress when it comes to its reconciliation efforts. It's nearly completed all of the 25 items listed as part of a First Nations reconciliation plan developed in 2023, but there have been some delays. Justin Hardy again has the story.
The vast municipality of Greenstone is made up of 4 different former towns and surrounds 8 First Nations. That's why Council decided in 2023 to implement a reconciliation action plan to build on relationships with those communities. 18 of the planned actions are ongoing or completed, like the inclusion of Indigenous ceremonies, practices, and protocols at official municipal events, and donating money to annual powwows. Mayor James McPherson says it was important for the municipality to continue working on its relationship with First Nations neighbors.
This made us step back and understand better what the situation is. We have a significant number. We've got 8 Indigenous communities in our area, and we have to recognize each are separate, independent, with different beliefs, and we have to address each community separately, or if we can as a group. The key is, though, ensuring that everybody has their input into decisions that we've made.
A few of the items on the action plan are nearly complete but face some delays. Reconciliation training for staff and council has been hindered by scheduling issues. The renaming of Indian Road to Reconciliation Road has also been delayed, but that's because council received a new suggestion, Nishnawbe Mikina, from one of the surrounding communities. McPherson says it fits very well.
Translating roughly into Ojibwe way, and that is the population from the Robertson Superior. And we also have Treaty 9, and with Long Lake going one way part of the year and another way another part of the year, it covers both jurisdictions, the watershed. And so having the Anishinaabe McKenna as the as a name, we think is very appropriate for the peoples and the descendants of those peoples.
With that amendment approved, the new name will be brought back to council later this year, where it will be made official. The municipality will work with residents to ease the transition. Justin Hardy, TBT News.
Local pet owners know all too well just how tough it can be to find a vet, but Lakehead University's new veterinary medicine program aims to relieve that burden. A local facility for the students to learn and is still a ways off, but the school held a ground blessing ceremony at the site Tuesday. The new Lakehead University veterinary program, being offered in partnership with Guelph University, hopes to eventually ensure there are more vets for local pet owners. But that's still a ways off. Today, LU, with the help of a First Nations elder, blessed the ground on which the new facility will be built.
I think the ceremony was a really poignant illustration of what makes this a unique program. So we're working in partnership with the University of Guelph's Ontario Veterinary College, world-class vet college, very exciting. What Lakehead brings is the north. And as you know, all the students who will go into this program must be from the north.
Today is about blessing the ground for the construction of the new veterinary clinic here at Lakehead University, which is really going to be foundational in the provision of care for animals, attracting veterinary professionals, doctors to practice in Thunder Bay.
The first expansion of veterinary education in Ontario in over a generation is being aided by a $2 million investment from the province. The added capacity is expected to greatly ease the burden on local vet clinics.
If you look at the service area that the north represents and where Lakehead University resides, we're servicing 3/4 of the size of the province of Ontario. So connecting farmers and agribusinesses and families to animal care, proper animal care. That's for the food value chain and for people's household pets.
Well, I think we're all connected. The Indigenous people believe that the four-legged, the winged, and the fish, and the swimmers, and the crawlers are all connected.
Lakehead University will begin construction soon on the veterinary medicine building, but it's still unclear just how long it will take. The space is expected to be high-tech, with plenty of room for educators and students and the animals they'll care for. Ryan Graham, TBT News. 50 practical nursing students at Confederation College are now going to school free of charge, thanks to a $1.2 million investment from the province. The funding announcement, meant to address the nursing shortage across the region, was celebrated last week. As Emma Chilton tells us, the students' education is also being accelerated to get them into hospitals faster.
Critical staffing shortages in hospitals across northwestern Ontario have led to long wait times and, in some cases, even temporary emergency room closures. That healthcare crisis has prompted the province to provide full funding for 50 practical nursing students at Confederation College and its Thunder Bay and regional campuses. Dean of Health Nigawan and Community Services Shane Strickland says the school is also fast-tracking the education so they can get jobs as soon as possible.
Our Confederation College program is typically a 22-month program. We're really excited to be able to do it in a fast-track program. The students are going to graduate in as little as 18 months, and it's a fully funded program. This means students are going to have their tuition and ancillary fees covered, as well as any supplies and textbooks that they will need. And there's even funding involved for students that might need to travel for their placements. So this should be a zero cost to the students to complete the program.
The nursing students started their studies in March and will graduate next July. Confederation College President Michelle Salo says this will help alleviate the demand across the region.
There are a number of smaller communities like Marathon, Dryden, Kenora, and Fort Francis that have the expanded nursing. And there's high demand in those small regional communities, and this is really going to support that expansion of nursing.
MPP Kevin Holland says allowing students to study nursing in their hometowns will benefit their communities.
Being able to provide this program, not just in Thunder Bay, but throughout the region where people are from, it'll go a long way for them to practice in their hometowns. We often see from communities in northwestern Ontario that there's a reluctance to have to go down to, even sometimes come to Thunder Bay, but if they have to go down to Toronto, by example, for their training, they'll just opt out of that. So this really opens up the opportunities for them to receive that training, then that they get back into their communities.
Emma Chilton, TBT News.
Coming up after the break, the OPP is working with First Nations communities on their new pardon project. Welcome back. No injuries have been reported after an intense house fire in North Caribou Lake last weekend that sent flames high into the air. 3 people were inside the home when the massive blaze ignited in the isolated First Nation around 5 o'clock last Sunday evening. Fortunately, they were able to escape safely, according to the community's fire chief. Ontario Provincial Police say they don't consider the fire to be suspicious. Both the OPP and the fire chief agree that the fire was caused by an improperly disposed cigarette. A massive wildfire that continues to burn here in northwestern Ontario has broken a record for the largest in the province's history, technically. Red Lake Fire 12 has taken that distinction from a fire in the Kenora district back in 2021. Justin Hardy explains.
Red Lake 12 has been burning since May 28th and is the largest fire in Ontario history on a technicality. Fire Information Officer Alison Bazubiak says the blaze covers more than 194,000 hectares, technically the Ontario record.
However, Kenora 51, which was in 2021, it was over 200,000 hectares in size, but it was burning in both Ontario and Manitoba. So since Kenora 51 was burning in 2 provinces, the total size within Ontario was smaller than Red Lake 12.
Across the region, the fire hazard level was low to start this week due to rain and general wet conditions throughout the northwest. Bazubiak says that the hazard is expected to raise a little as a drying pattern has been building up as we go into the weekend.
Currently, the hazard is low to moderate across the southern border of the region, increasing to high to extreme across the north. We are expecting some rain in the coming days, but we'll have a better idea of the impact of that rain once it materializes. That storm system that moved across the northwest region late last weekend did bring heavy lightning to the southern half of the region. So as a result, we are closely monitoring for potential holdover fires caused by lightning strikes.
If you're planning to set off fireworks on Canada Day, officials are urging you to use extreme caution or attend an organized fireworks show. If your fireworks shows start a wildfire because they weren't disposed of correctly, you could be charged and could be saddled with the total cost of putting out that fire. Justin Hardy, TBT News.
The Ontario Provincial Police are celebrating an early success of the Pardon Project, which was helping people in Wigamo Lake First Nation apply for criminal pardons. Staff Sergeant Carl Duell says he was surprised by the turnout.
We weren't going to judge the success on this based on how many people came in. We just think it's the right thing to do. But honestly, to answer your question, I thought maybe the first time, just based on trust and everything, maybe we'd see about 5. But again, that just speaks to the type of community that North Caribou Lake is.
The OPP, Anishinaabe Legal Services, the Parole Board of Canada, and the Northwest Division of Ontario Court Services has piloted bringing these pardons specifically to First Nations. Anyone can apply to the Parole Board for a record suspension. But Duell says the process can be lengthy and intimidating, especially for Indigenous people who may have little trust for the justice system after generations of issues.
We're part of these communities. We live in them. We have members on all of our police services that are from these various communities. And we do know that historically, there may have been times where the entire justice system didn't do things the right way for individuals. And a lot of times people have grown up, they made mistakes in their life due to historical trauma, addiction, other issues. And, things have changed in their life, and we want to help them be able to move forward.
The next community that will be receiving the Pardon Project is KI First Nation, located on Big Trout Lake. A Sioux Lookout OPP officer has been charged, following an investigation by the province's Special Investigations Unit. Constable Michael Berger is accused of assault in connection with the arrest of a 50-year-old man in that community back on January 31st. According to the SIU, the victim sustained serious injury during the interaction, but no other details have been released. Berger will appear in court in Sioux Lookout next month. Greenstone is one step closer to getting its new OPP station. The new facility is being paid for by Equinox Gold, the owners of Greenstone Gold Mine, so the company can expand an open pit mine near the current police headquarters. Once again, Justin Hardy explains.
Greenstone's new OPP station has been in the works for a long time, as the current station will eventually need to be destroyed to make room for the massive open pit mine located just outside of Geraldton. First announced in 2023, the new station design is still being finalized, but Council voted this week to give the CAO authority to sign a development agreement and approve minor amendments to avoid any holdups.
This is sort of us pre-approving because we would like to get this moving, yet you don't have another meeting till well into July. So if they're able to get the agreement and the minor amendments reviewed and agreed upon, then we can get it signed and they can get started.
Any amendments or rewrites will also be reviewed by the municipality's lawyers to determine if they need to be brought to council. Once the development agreement is signed by mine and Greenstone officials, the building permit can be issued. The hope is that construction can begin this year, like originally planned. McPherson says the project is immensely important to all of Greenstone's communities.
It's important to the Ontario Provincial Police that they have a new building which is on Highway 11, the main thoroughfare through east-west through Greenstone. And with this new structure, there's been considerable discussion between the First Nations and the OPP on the design of it. So this is going to be a very different station.
Greenstone OPP wasn't available to discuss the project this week. Its officers will continue to work out of their current station until the new one is ready. Justin Hardy, TBT News.
Sioux Lookout Council needs to fill a sudden vacancy after Councillor Luke Bone stepped down on Wednesday, citing personal reasons. In a statement, Mayor Doug Lawrence thanked Bone, saying his contributions to council will be missed. Council is expected to review and consider options for how to fill the vacancy during its next meeting on July 16th. After the break, Thunder Bay Superior North MP Patty Hadu says more summer student jobs are coming to the region.
We're looking for quality jobs. It's an opportunity for employers to apply to receive a Canada Summer Jobs student.
Welcome back. The Federal Minister of Jobs and Families recently made an announcement in the Thunder Bay area that more summer jobs will be available for youth across Canada. Minister Patty Hajdu was at the Wata Power headquarters in Fort Williams First Nation for the announcement. The Canada Summer Jobs Program was on track for 70,000 subsidized positions nationwide, but the government just added 6,000 more. Hajdu says the available jobs are diverse and align with the national priorities for this region.
There might be national priorities around an environmental focus, and all of those are sort of through the department rated in terms of whether they meet those national priorities, whether they are providing a quality experience for students, the kind of oversight a student might get. We're looking for quality jobs. It's an opportunity for employers to apply to receive a Canada Summer Jobs student, 15 to 30 years old. Who wants a summer experience. We have not-for-profit organizations that are funded at 100% or small businesses that receive 50% of the salary of a student.
Hajdu could not provide an exact number of positions for this region, as she says it will depend on how many local businesses apply for the Canada Summer Jobs program. Geraldton District Hospital officials say upgrades to the facility's long-term care garden are providing a number of benefits to residents. As Jane Billick explains, the work was done to make the space more accessible to all who live there.
Geraldton District Hospital's $50,000 garden project, funded by the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund and local donors, was undertaken to help give long-term care patients a stronger sense of home at the hospital. And Support Services Manager Ryan Waugh says it's done just that.
We wanted a space that the long-term residents could come out in a wheelchair accessible and get out and garden and still do some stuff outside, stuff that they used to do at home. So that's what created this project, and it's been very well received by the residents. It's something to bring them back to something they might have done back at their own homes. So we like to make it very homey here so they feel well welcome, and it just keeps them busy.
Beforehand, there was space for gardening, but not everyone was able to use it. That's why the large concrete slab was so important.
And the wheelchair accessible was very minor, so we wanted to open it up to give them a little bit more space. So we opened it up, and then we bought all these raised beds so that they have a place to garden, and it was at a working height. So we weren't having elders working down on their hands and knees, and they were able to access it in a wheelchair or outside of a wheelchair.
Residents have quickly filled up all the newly available space with a wide variety of vegetables.
You see residents excited to get up in the day, come outside. You know, the winter months are long. What is the winter months? 8 months, everyone's inside. What do you call it? You get cooped up. So getting outside, getting the fresh air, coming to garden, getting their hands dirty with soil, it brings lots of joy to the residents.
Once the vegetables grown by the residents are harvested, the hospital will incorporate them into meals. Jaden Billick, TBT News.
A Toronto man is attempting to skateboard from his home city all the way to Vancouver, and he's made a stop in Thunder Bay to offer some skateboarding lessons to local kids. Noah Tynes also goes by the nickname the Sage Knight. He's planning to travel over 4,000 kilometers on his skateboard over a 3-month period, raising funds for nonprofits supporting 2 youth initiatives. He's been rolling about 80 kilometers a day and arrived in the city earlier last week. Tynes spent some time at Cinema 5 skate park on Saturday afternoon before he continued on his epic journey to the West Coast.
So I'm going to be doing a free skateboarding clinic right here at Cinema 5. I'm very excited. Even if you go see my blog, I had one of the entries saying how much I kind of miss my students because we're in off season right now. And look, here we go again. Other skaters have recently crossed USA. Another skater had recently crossed Japan. Those ones that have done it, and they're much similar to myself, they say you sometimes just have to go and figure things out as you go. So that's definitely an imprint I'd want to leave on this beautiful city of Thunder Bay, Ontario.
Thank you so much for tuning into this edition of Northwest Newsweek. I'm Ryan Graham, and I'll catch you next time.